Hey, welcome to Big Valley Living. My name is Michelle. Thanks a lot for coming by. If you've already been here before, thanks for visiting us again. If it's your first visit, I hope you enjoy this video. We are going to be making our own dog food for our dogs. We have two adorable poochies, Daisy Belle and Leo. And I like knowing that they're getting some wholesome food. Sometimes when you buy food from the pet stores or big box stores or something, you kind of are left wondering what's in it. And I just want to make sure that at least once or twice a day they get something that I know is healthy for them. So without further ado, I hope you're interested in making your own dog food. I've taste tested this with my, I don't know what you'd call her, my niece, my doggy niece, and she loved it as much as Daisy and Leo loved the chicken version. So that went over so well, and we have some put away, that today we're going to make a ground beef version. So I'm going to take you through this process for the ground beef version, and I will put the ingredients that we used for both dog food types in the description below. There we go, just like that. And let us know if you think that this is a good idea to do this, because I'm telling you guys, it is truly costing us less than the cost of a 40-pound bag of dog food to give them this way more wholesome food every month, and we're using good ingredients. So come along and we'll go ahead and make some dog food. This is going to be a multi-day process, and you're going to see it at the very end so that you can see the product that we made and see how much the dogs enjoy it. What I like to do is we're going to start with 2 cups of basmati rice. I just use white basmati for the dogs, and this is what the vet has always told us to use when we like resetting their diets anyway. And I am going to rinse this. I like to get it started rinsing until the water runs clear. I'm going to just start it this way. That's to rinse out all of the impurities in the rice. And then the next thing we're going to do is get our liquid going for the rice. Our rice calls for a 2-to-1 liquid to rice ratio, and that's why we're going to use 32 ounces, which is 4 cups of commercially prepared beef broth. We like this brand. It tastes pretty good. We don't have any homemade beef broth right now, so still we're happy with it. So I'm going to turn that on high, and we'll get this going. This meal, if you want to call it that, this month of dog food meals, comes together pretty quickly, and we really like to see the dogs happy when they get to try it. Okay, I moved that other rice liquid off to the other side to show you. Okay, 1 pound. And 5 lovely pounds of ground beef. Okay, I'm just going to kind of mush it down and break it up with my hands. And we're just going to get this nice and brown. The rice mixture, or the rice liquid, is coming to temperature, and once it boils, I'm going to add that rinsed out basmati rice, put a lid on it, reduce it to low, and let it cook for a half hour. We have the beef broth boiling. That was 4 cups. I just added 2 cups of completely well-rinsed basmati rice. And I'm going to let that come back up to a boil. And once it does, I'm going to stir it down with a fork, lower the heat down to low, and set the timer for 20 to 25 minutes, and get to work on the carrots. And that's what it's going to look like when we stir it down. I'm going to turn on the stove down to about 1.5 to 1. See that? Okay, let's go. Of course, you've all seen somebody peel carrots, but you know what? Just real quick, show you. Make sure you get these nice and clean, and just wash my sink so it's looking good. And for this recipe, I am going to use these 5 lovely organic carrots that we have in the fridge. You know, peel these up, and then I'm going to show you my handy dandy dicer. Love, love, love it. And for what it's worth, I just peel into the sink and then I take all the peels and the ends and everything and put them into the compost. But I just find this to be so much easier than trying to, you know, do it straight into a compost bin or a trash can or something. Let's do this and set it off to the side. All done. Let's go check on the meat. This is coming along smashingly. So I just like to use this little mix and chop that I have from Pampered Chef. And I'm just gonna keep on browning it. It's browning up very nicely. And again, we're gonna damp off any fat that's left before we mix it in with the rice and everything to get ready to cool for tomorrow's trip into the freeze dryer. So I'm going to let this keep going. Just for reference, I have this at about medium, the low side to medium high. My guess is what I just cut off is what the best of the best dog foods actually end up putting into the commercially prepared dog food. Scary. As you can see, I've cut these into smaller chunks and they're kind of flat. This is going to make the next part go a lot easier. This, my friends, is the Vidalia Chop Wizard. And I'm here to tell you, it is a lifesaver. I love it, love it, love it. It's kind of loud. You need to get used to it. And it has 2 different sizes of dices that you can do for your preparation for food prep. But just watch this. Bam. It is said to scare small children and little dogs. It has a little catcher in the bottom that provides measurements so that you have an idea when you're done how much product that you have. So, and it's got little non-skid pads on the bottom. This thing is about as groovy as they get, okay? No electricity needed. I really kind of want to incorporate the approximation of 1 cup per tray. So I'm going to go grab a couple more carrots. So I like to have a cup of carrots per tray and approximately 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup of peas per tray. Cool beans. I'm going to go get these on, whoa! I'm going to go get these on water once I pick them up from the counter. Okie dokie. So see how we have nice little crumbles? It is completely cooked through. And again, we had 93.7 meat, so there is very, very little liquid. I'm going to take this off the heat so that I can show you the rice, which is done. Should be. Okay, we'll take that off. Oh, look at that, you guys. I'm telling you, the dogs are just like over the moon, and they know what I'm making right now. So I'm going to get the carrots and the peas going. And take the rice, I just fluffed it up. I'm going to take the rice and the meat off the heat. Like that, Ryan? Okay, it seems to make a whole lot more sense to use the stove as everything's warm, right? And I suppose I could look into putting the carrots and the peas in when the rice cooks. I'll do that in the future. And then I also want to let you know that, I'm just going to use the same little guy that I was using. I also want to let you guys know that we actually freeze dry and powder spinach and kale and stuff. And eventually I'll probably just add little pieces of spinach into this mixture. But for the time being, to give them some greens, I can always take like a teaspoon and divide it amongst their food when I'm feeding them as it reconstitutes. And that'll just give them a few more vitamins as well. Okay, now there's something that I want to bring to your attention. This is just like people food, right? You don't want something to sit on the stovetop or cool down too slowly, because then it won't be healthy. So what I like to do is to speed up the cooling process here. I'm just going to take this rice and put it into a Pyrex dish. This is, you know, freezer safe. And I'm going to try and get it cooling down as soon as I can before mixing everything together. And again, this is just, it's for the safety of your animals. I mean, we all don't want to be eating rotten food, right? And like I said, SHTF, guess who might be eating this? But our dogs are our secondary children, so we just feel the need to do this. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing with the meat after I make sure that there isn't too much grease in there. To make sure we don't have any excess grease on this and speed up the cooling process, I'm just putting this into a colander. I'm going to rinse it under cold water before I put it into the Pyrex dish to cool all the way. Round 2. Okay, everybody. So I brought them to a boil. These are the carrots. And they are fork tender. I don't want them to be too done, but I do want them to be soft to the touch for the dogs because that's what they prefer. So I've turned it down a little bit here to about 5. And I'm going to give it just a couple more minutes while I cut open 1 pound of organic peas. They heat through. That's going to be a really good batch. I think the Poochies are going to love this. And we're actually going to let them try it before I mix everything together and freeze it tonight. Just as a treat, because they've been so patient as I made this today. So actually I'm going to turn that back up to 7 to get those peas nice and soft. I'm telling you guys, your dogs, if you do this, your dogs are just absolutely going to love you for it, even if it's a treat once in a while. Because I'm thinking, you know, every now and again, I'm probably going to grab some cottage cheese or something and mix it in after it's rehydrated and cooled back down. Just enough to put the cottage cheese in there and still make it pleasant. But I have a dog sitting outside of the kitchen parameters in the entryway of our house, just looking at me like, I love you. May I have a bite? See if I can show you. So I brought the peas and carrots back up to a gentle rolling boil, because of course the frozen peas cooled all the water down, and let it do that for about 2 minutes, and then I turned it off and I'm just kind of letting them sit. I am very lucky because I can kind of smell the peas when they're perfect. The carrots are not mushy in any way, so I'm actually going to put these into the strainer, and we're going to move forward by mixing all of our ingredients together. All right, everybody, got my That's a Bowl here. Classic bowl from Tupperware. I love these things. They're so big. And if you're a canner or a freeze dryer, I am going to tell you right now, I'm not affiliated with Tupperware, but I can put a link to someone if you want down below, because I'm telling you what, this is just the biggest, nicest bowl, right? You can do all kinds of stuff here. We have 3, so that when we do tomatoes, we have 1 for discards, 1 for skins, and 1 for plunging into the water. Now we're going to add the meat. Now, mind you, I had put the rice and the meat into the deep freeze, and then honestly we had to run up to see a friend, so I paused everything and then came back and got the veggies going. I didn't have to tell you that, but I just cannot lie. Just kidding. I can't, but okay, so I might have to let this meat thaw out a little bit. We stayed a little longer than we had planned. However, it was worth every moment to visit with a dear old friend that I have known since I was at least, I can't remember if we were 7 or 8. I'm going to have to ask her. We were in 2nd grade, I know that. I think we were 7. It just depends on when her family moved in to the area. All right. That's breaking up nicely. And actually, you know what, you guys, when I throw the hot veggies in, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm just going to drop this in now. Now, on my chicken dog food, the chicken flavored, I had 6 cups of rice in here. It was way too much. Way too much. It's heavy on the rice, and I think that if I wanted to make this more of a permanent dog food for them and use less kibble, that I need to have more meat in there because, you know, dogs require more meat protein than humans. We don't require any meat protein, actually, but we won't get into that. It is good, don't get me wrong. Okay, oh my goodness. They are just going crazy over here, actually. It's funny. Now I'm going to put these hot veggies on top, and I'm actually going to just let them sit for a few minutes until they're cool to the touch for me. And then I'm going to mix it all together, and we will set up our freeze-drying trays. This is so exciting. Isn't that pretty? Again, it's good enough for you and your dogs. It doesn't get any better than this. Okay, guys. I can't believe I didn't even put my apron back on when I got home. But anyway, pardon the sounds of the loud cars. It's Friday night. So the hands are clean, and everything has cooled down. So now I'm just going to reach on in. This is for my family, my dogs, me and JJ. So again, JJ and I aren't going to eat this unless we absolutely have to. But if we had to, it's really good to know that it's here, right? And this bowl, oops, Daisy's going nuts, you guys. I want you to see her if you can. See her? Leo, Bio, come here. They are going nuts because it smells so good to them. And they know that they get a test bowl. So I need to make haste and get this done. Yep, that's Daisy. She's like, please, Mom. Okay. I believe I've got this mixed really well. And I want you to see that this is really meat-centric and vegetables, okay? That's the way I want it. And we've been talking about how do we introduce the fat back into it. And we're thinking maybe bacon grease, maybe render some fat, you know, some beef fat or something from a butcher. And then we would just like warm up a teaspoon or something with it per bowl for them to make sure that they get the adequate amount of fat in their diet that they need. We still have to do more research on that. At this point, this is a glorified treat. Okay. Oh my God. It actually looks like, you guys, it looks like cottage pie. A lot of restaurants call it shepherd's pie, even though they use ground beef. Technically, shepherd's pie has lamb, and cottage pie, from my British background, relatives, cottage pie is with beef. So go ahead and tuck that away for your knowledge. Anyway, let me go get the trays. We're about done for today. Everybody's hungry around here right now. Seriously? I should save some of this off to the side and make a cottage pie, you guys. This is too funny and too fun. Okay, I just put my stackers on there. And again, in my freezer out, in my deep freezer, I actually have one tray of the chicken and rice dog food, because we had extra. And that was mostly rice. I like the way this looks compared to the chicken batch. So from now on, I am going to increase the meat and vegetable ratio to the rice. Research, 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 and practice, practice, practice. Okay, that looks pretty good. There we go. And then getting these stacker things right here, we got them through Live Life Simple, and we will put a link down below. If you have a freeze dryer, these just make your life super easy. If you don't have a freeze dryer and you were thinking about getting a freeze dryer, consider using our link. We do have an affiliation with harvest right, it's quite an investment. So I will say to this, I will say this to you. Make sure that you plan on using it, okay? Don't buy it and let it be a piece of, you know, jewelry in your house, because it's just not good for the machine, not good for you, not good for your family. Just becomes another thing to maintain. So again, it's important to use what you buy for all of the purposes that you wanted to use it when you bought it. All right, that is about as high as I want to make these, but based on what I just did, we easily have one more tray, possibly two. You know what, you guys, this is funny, but I could probably make some lumpia out of that. I'm not going to, but if I wanted to be creative, I might actually consider. Okay, so I'm going to get this prepared out into the deep freeze, and I'll probably have to do 2 more trays. I'll let you know at the end what we ended up with for extra. And wash that grease off my hands. There's not much, but I can feel it. And tomorrow we will be starting the freeze drying effort first thing in the morning. So I'm going to get this out there before it gets dark. Alrighty, so we have 2 very, very patient dogs. They're so happy. So here's the taste test pre-freeze dry. Daisy Belle and Leopio. I have a feeling that they're both going to give us a thumbs up if they had opposable thumbs. Time to load. So this is the chicken mixture that I hadn't done yet. Oh, it's icy in there. And then I'm going to take 3 of the trays that we did last night. So I just have to make one more full batch. I'm going to think about what kind of meat I'm going to use. And then we'll have a 3-month supply, or 2.5, because they're going to eat some in the meantime. And again, we have little dogs, not big dogs. This is much more affordable for us than if you have gigantic dogs. Okay, now I have secured the door. Now I'm going to close the drain valve. Made sure everything is nice and tight. Okay, so now I hit the continue button. It is currently 6 p.m. on the dot. So these have been in the deep freeze. The chicken's been in the deep freeze for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. The hamburgers have been in the deep freeze for 24 hours. So we will let you know how long it took to freeze dry this tomorrow. Okay, so we have our trays of dog food, and right now it's finished. I've already checked and everything's dry. So I'm going to open the drain valve on Tilly, our wonderful freeze dryer. We have been out in the sun all day, you guys, putting in a garden bed, and I'm telling you what, I think we're both fried as far as sunburned and everything. Okay, so I'm going to open her up. And again, I've already tested and I know that it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and take from the bottom. You can kind of see that tray. I close it back up. I know I don't probably need to. Now we just got this really handy. It's a gigantic funnel for freeze drying. And we got it from, oh my goodness, that is so cool. This is a game changer, guys. I've been putting stuff in, oh my goodness. I've been putting things into a bowl and then transferring it and back and forth and back and forth. That's a game changer. So this is about a week's worth of dog food for the dogs, because we do still free feed them with their kibble. I know I've mentioned that before. So we're gonna get all of this packaged up. And now we're filling a jar that we can just use straight up. We're going to seal it, and we're going to show you our Avid Armor sealer here in a minute too. All right, so that's good. And now I'm going to readjust my Avid Armor bag. Well, I mean, sorry. Now I'm going to readjust this back up. So that we can fill the last bag, which is a partial bag, in my opinion. It's just a taller, narrow, it's a tall bag, same. Okay, now we're gonna seal this smaller bag. And I opened up this lever here, and the arm. Now we're going to go over, under, and over. Over, under, over. Now I'm going to close the clamp. It doesn't click or anything, that's it. I'm going to close the lid. This thing is stout, you guys. This is amazing. And then I have the vacuum time set at 40 and I have the seal time set at 5. That is an adjustment from the default time, so you'll just want to make sure that you read your manual. And then I'm going to hit auto vac and seal. Watch this. You're not going to think it's working until it does. It's so cool. Oh, that scared me.
You gotta push.
That sound, by the way, was the ice breaking off of inside of Tilly, but it was loud. So you can kind of see it doing something, you know. And you're thinking, man, what'd I get this for? The sealing meal sucks all that air out right away. Well, you just watch. Food Saver is what we had before, by the way. And it did a fine job, but it didn't do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This.
It is cool.
So
okay, giggles.
Oh.
I'll show them what we got.
Okay, now watch this. Look at that seal. We put it in clear 3 mil bags because we basically have a 3-month supply of dog food. So we'll take them out, put them in mason jars, and then that'll be the food that they have for the week. We just put resealable lids on them, and if we feel the need, we could put an oxygen absorber. However, our air here is pretty darn dry, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. If you're in a more humid area, you may want to rethink that and seal it every time. So again, over, under, over. Push that down. We're gonna give level that out just a tiny bit. We have only had this is like the 3rd time we've used our Avid Armor, but we love it.
Yeah, you just gotta make it flat. You see what I'm saying? Pulling the end. There you go.
So JJ is still guiding me towards learning how to use this the proper way, or set it up the right way.
Got it?
I think if we do that, we'll be in good shape.
Bam.
Okay, and here we go again. The magic begins. The magic continues. Look at I think it's really a good thing and worth noting to show you that the Avid Armor gives it a really nice double seal. And it's going nowhere. I mean, that thing is like a brick, you guys, so it's very cool, but I did want to show you that the Avid Armor, we actually have the Ultra Series, and that's one of the features that we really like about it.
It's the 32.
Ours
I can't remember, it's AVS 32, I think, or something like that. So we have to remove the heat seal here. That's what this is, the heat seal. And then right here, it's not really very telling, but you remove this thing that says remove for cleaning right here. You undo that and take that out. Now this is for on the 32. There's also a 20 version that has a port in the back, but this guy here for the 32 just plugs right in there.
We're going to put this pad in here to protect the metal.
Now this is just a regular 4 jars lid, and this is the Food Saver jar sealer. You just put it on like you always would. Plug this in.
This does not. This
does not come with this. This is Food Saver. That's a whole different company, different everything. But it works with this.
Okay.
So what you want to do is go ahead and start it down the road of sealing, but you only want this to go for 8 to 10 seconds, because if not, you may not ever get the jar lid off. So what I do is I just press the auto vac and seal and let it run for 8 seconds and press seal. That's it. Done deal. This dude will not come off. It is on there. I mean, it is really on there.
With the old brand of lids, the classic brand that we're all used to, they were popping off really after just a few days. And we're not sure if it was the Food Saver itself or if it was
maybe something we did or whatever, but we're using the exact same lid sealer with this product, and it's really awesome. Then you just pull this out and it's ready for the next time, and put it right back together. Just put this right back on here. Now it says remove for cleaning. I haven't gotten to that point. I'll do a video on cleaning this if there's something special. Now each one of these slide right up into these guides here. And that's it. Done deal. Now you're ready for next time.
All right, we just got some boiling water. We always use filtered water, just like we would for ourselves. And I put in a half a cup of dry food. Meat will only soak up what it needs, and then it will simply stop soaking up water. We have a lot of rice and peas and carrots in here, so if I have to add any more water after about 5 minutes, it'll probably be cool filtered water so that the dogs can get to munching. This one's for Leo, who is a smaller dog, so it's a little less than a half a cup, because I don't want him to get a big belly. And again, you guys, we do free feed our dogs all day long, but increasingly they're excited about getting this in the evenings, but they still eat their kibble, probably about a half a bowl a day, so it's good. Thanks again for visiting us while we made our homemade dog food. I'll drop the amounts down in the description below, and you can adjust as necessary for your dog. By no means are we veterinarians or anything like that. We are simply mixing together vegetables, meat, and rice and broth for our dogs that we know they'll enjoy. And it's probably very much like something that we have fed them in the past, just from things that we've made and refrigerated for a few days. So next up, I think I'm going to scramble eggs, and I will freeze dry those to add to this. And I think there was something else. Oh, cottage cheese. I'm not going to freeze dry cottage cheese, but every now and again, if it's on sale, I'll probably pick some up and add that to this mixture after it's rehydrated to just kind of change things up. So do what's right for your pet, do what's right in your heart, and one more reason to just absolutely love this freeze dryer, love the Avid Armor. The tools that we have are making us more self-sufficient, and we have better control not only over what we eat and what we feed to our family, but also to our furry little friends. So thanks again for visiting. Have a great day.
See you later, everybody.
Be kind.